So the next hotspot is the Pentagon Island. Okay, so in this one we're coming from Nottingham Road going towards the A61 Sir Frank Whittle Road. So it's right 4th exit. So when the examiner gives you instructions here, they'll say to you at the roundabout, go right 4th exit. So on the approach of the roundabout, there's 3 lanes. We need to pick the far right lane. Okay, just make sure you don't signal too early here because there's a road on the right. So you don't want people to think you're turning right into that road. So you got to pass that road on the right first and then you put your right signal on. So as you can see, there's 3 lanes on the approach here. We're picking the far right lane. Now, one of the reasons why people get this one wrong is sometimes they get freaked out because it's a bit of a big roundabout. It's got a lot of exits. It just freaks people out and they start panicking. The anxiety kicks in and everything just goes pear-shaped. So just stay calm. All right, it's not hard. It's quite easy. If you once you've seen how I do it, you'll see that it's actually quite easy once you know how to do it. And if you don't know how to do it, then obviously it can be a bit tricky. But once you know how to do it, it's fine. So make sure you count the exits because sometimes people don't count the exits properly. That's why they end up taking the wrong one. So this one coming up is the first one on the left. Okay, so that's number 1. Okay, so the number 2 is there where that Texaco sign is. That's number 2 exit. Alright, so I'm still in the right lane. Number 3 is that one there where the self-storage sign is. Okay, now make sure you keep your right signal on because this is not the exit we want. This is the 3rd one. Keep your right signal on until you get to about here and now you put your left signal on. Okay, that's somewhere where people go wrong as well. They signal too early sometimes. Okay, they signal even before they get to the 3rd exit for the 4th exit. So you will fail for that as well because you signaled incorrectly. Okay, so you make sure you signal just after you've passed the 3rd exit. Another thing as well, as you just saw, you just rewind it if you don't know what I'm talking about. But as I was passing, just before I got to the 3rd exit, the lane split into 2. All right. So when the lane splits into 2, you pick the left lane, the far left lane you want to be in. Once you pass the 3rd exit, you want to be in the far left lane. You don't want to pick that middle lane. You can take the middle lane to take the 4th exit as well, but the problem with that is that's the overtaking lane. So you don't want to be in the overtaking lane when exiting because that's for overtaking cars only. So you should be in the left lane when you're taking the exit. Now, if you do end up in that middle lane by accident, then it's best to stick to the middle lane because there's a solid white line in the middle and you can't cross the solid white line to go back into the left lane. So it's just best to stick into that middle lane, exit in that lane, and then once you've exited the roundabout, then move back over into the middle. Another thing that you might have to keep in mind as well, sometimes when you're approaching the third exit, and as you're passing the 3rd exit, the left lane might be fully blocked. Okay, so there might be a whole load of cars there. Now if you try to get into the left lane, the back of your car will end up backing onto the roundabout. So you'll actually be on the roundabout, cars on the roundabout will have to end up stopping for you. So that could make you fail as well. So in that sort of situation, what you should do is pick the middle lane. Then you'll have to pick the middle lane, you've got no option there. Because otherwise you're making cars on the roundabout stop for you. You had an option there to pick the middle lane to avoid that, to avoid all that congestion and making cars stop for you. So then you should pick the middle lane. But if the left lane is empty, then you pick the left lane. If the left lane is not empty and there's cars there, then you pick the middle lane, exit in that lane, and then move into the left lane when it's safe. Another thing to bear in mind, this road is actually national speed limit. Okay, it doesn't look like it because there's buildings around, but it's national speed limit. There was a sign when I exited the roundabout, just rewind it again. Sometimes they make you come this way as well, so they come from this way. All right, and take the 2nd exit. You could take the 2nd exit towards A52. So you're coming from A61 Sir Frank Whittle Road, and you're taking the second exit towards Nottingham A52. All right, so sometimes people go wrong here because they stick to the left lane. Now, as you can see on the roundabout, you're approaching the left lane. Now on the roundabout, this left lane will split into two. When it does, you have to go straight into the middle lane because the left lane takes you towards the first exit. We don't want to go towards the first exit. All right, so to take the second exit to go towards Nottingham A52, you have to go straight into the middle lane like this. There's no need to signal because you're not going into the right lane. Okay, now from here you just follow it around to the right because that's the first exit that we're just passing. And now you check your mirrors, signal left, and this is the exit we want here. There's signs on the road saying A52 as well. Okay, and bear in mind the speed limit is 50 here as well. Okay, this road used to be a national speed limit road. Okay, so if you look at the sat nav will actually show you 70. So don't follow the sat nav. There's clear signs here showing you that this road is 50 now. Okay, so make sure you stick to 50. A lot of people just assume it's national speed limit because it was national speed limit before, and because sometimes people look at the sat nav and the sat nav says 70, so they just go up to 70, and that would make you fail your test as well. There's clear 50 signs here, so remember, just look out for the signs. The speed limit is 50 here.